Hey, hello and welcome to this new video from Flomotion. Today's topic will be green screen and keying in general. So in the first tutorial of a 2-tutorial series, we'll talk about all the basics you need to know to set up a green screen, how to set up your camera, and all the basics within After Effects. And in the second tutorial, we will bring all of this a step further by looking at different tweaks, techniques and tips within After Effects to really sell your shot. So let's record some green screen footage. For that we obviously need something in front of a green screen, and our second shot will be the background plate with the exact same light settings. So just get rid of the green screen. So here in After Effects I've already imported the exact same footage that you just saw. It's this green screen footage, and let me just drop it into a new composition by dragging it over this new composition icon and let go. And I just scrub through this to find a nice looking image. And I'll just try to find something without motion blur and where we have all of this nice hair detail. This is exactly what came out of the camera. As I said in the intro, I want to tell you a little bit about how to set this up. So first things first, of course we need a green screen. So now you don't have to think that I just hang this up in this scrappy way. I just wanted to show you an easy way to do it without hours and hours of preparation. So this took me like 1 or 2 minutes. And obviously the less wrinkles you have, the better the key. But I also took care that the main wrinkles are not going through my hair, and in other ways I framed the image so that I'm sitting in the middle and not at the corners where the wrinkles are worse. So let me just show you some pictures how you also could do it. Those are pictures from me on set, reaching from really big stages to really small ones. Now it's important to position the object in the right way in front of the green screen. I am just about 3.5 meters away from the green screen. Believe it or not, I'm shooting on an 85mm lens on a Canon 70D, which has a cropped sensor, so this makes it about a 120mm lens. So this is why the green screen looks a bit closer to me. But if you want to find out more about different lenses and what they do with the back and foreground, you can just watch one of my tutorials over here at piXplosion. I didn't use my Canon 5D for this, but I chose the 70D just to show you that you can get really good results with cheaper equipment. There are now just 2 important things for the camera settings. First thing is you have to choose the best quality available in your camera. So the less compression, the better the result. So just choose the highest quality you have available within your camera. And the other thing is just choose the lowest ISO you can find on your camera. Normally this is 100, and this is exactly what I went for this shot. Because the lower the ISO, the less noise you get on the image. So again, if you want to find out more about ISO and if you want to find out what this does with your image and how you can set it up, you can find some camera tips and tricks on my piXplosion channel. But for now, let's just get this started. As I told you, I chose an ISO of 100, and if you watch on this green screen here, there's almost no noise in it. And if you hold down the Alt key and press 1, 2, 3 and 4, you can jump between the different color and alpha channels. So 1 is red, 2 is green, 3 is blue, and 4 is the alpha channel. And if you hit it twice, you can come back to the RGB view. But now let's just reduce the noise even more. And there are many plugins out there, but also the built-in effects in After Effects are really good. So we just use remove grain. By default you just get the preview area, but let's just go to the final output. And now let's just watch what this has done. So I go to the green channel by hitting Alt and 2. And turning this on and off, you can see what this is doing, but you may not even see it in the screencast here. But once we have set up the key, you can just enable and disable it to see what this is doing with the key or how much this really helps. So let's just pre-compose this by hitting Ctrl, Shift and C for composition and call this our key. and we want to move all the attributes into a new composition. So now I would always start by making a quick garbage matte, and there are basically two good ways to do it. The first one is to just use a garbage matte by clicking on the pen tool or hit G to get the pen tool, and then you just draw a mask roughly around all the parts of the image you want to keep. And in that way you don't have to deal with all of the extra stuff, or you can mask out tracking markers. But now let's just quickly undo that or delete the mask, because there's another really cool way of doing that, and this is with the color keyer. And the color key is somehow the basic tool for keying. You can just pick a green tone here and increase the color tolerance, and then you get a basic key and play a little bit with the edge feather. And believe me or not, this will really help later on. Let's just quickly bring out another version of the color key to click on that color, and now we're done. No. This just helps for creating the garbage matte, because now what we can do, we can extend the alpha outwards, and then we have the same matte, but it will follow the shape. But before we do that, let's just delete the tracking marker by getting out another color key and pick the tracking marker color, and it's gone. So now for our garbage matte trick we need a choker, because a choker simply shrinks the alpha channel or does exactly the opposite. So let me show you. By bringing this up, it shrinks the alpha. So let me click on Alt+4 to get the alpha and reset this. So this is what it looks. And this is what it gets. But if you go down with negative values, and for that we maybe want to watch the RGB image, and let's just go all the way down to -100. And by the way, if -100 is not enough for you, you can simply duplicate the whole effect. And then it's extended even more. And the nice thing about this is, as I told you, the mask will now follow your object. And now for the keying we can only concentrate on the parts that are close to the edges. But now let's get this thing going. And for that, the go-to keyer in After Effects is called Keylight, and this is a really powerful tool. So you only have to click on the color you want to get rid of, so green or blue, and you already see that this does a really great job. Click on this checkerboard icon, so now we can see the alpha a bit better. And we click Alt+4, you can see that this is really looking great. So normally within the keylight effect I just change two different settings. And this is the clip black and clip white. And as a rule for me, I always take care that the difference between the two values don't go beneath 80. So in other words, if I crank that up to 20, I wouldn't go down on here. And when I'm going up about 10, I would just bring this down until about 90. But let's reset it to its default and have a look. We get some gray areas here and also in my eyes. So let's just bring down the clip white, and I'm holding down Control while doing that to get finer control. And I would say that this is already looking pretty nice. Perfect. Let's just bring out the footage, the original one, once again, because as you have seen at the very end, I just removed the green screen to get a clean plate. So right at the end, just click on the footage and create a freeze frame. For that, I go to Time, Freeze Frame. And let me unsolo this. You can see that this already looks pretty convincing, but let's just play with the clip white a little bit. And we have done our first basic key within After Effects. And this is already the end of part 1 of this mini-series, so if you liked what you've seen so far, just give me a click on that nice subscribe button so I can do more of those tutorials, because I really love doing those tutorials. and then just follow me to part 2 of this tutorial, where I explain you a little bit about how to fine tweak the key. Maybe we will work a little bit more on my fine hair details, and I'm also going to show you what happens if I'm going to bring in another background for this image. So what do I have to take care of then? And by the way, if you're wondering why I am filming this in front of a green screen if I'm sitting in the same room. So as you may have seen, I've put it in videos in those 2 monitor screens, and all my curly hair goes over it. So this is kind of a typical workflow if you want to bring something behind an object. So I really hope you learned something about keying and how to set up green screen, a basic setup, and how to set up your camera, and how to create those kind of shots with a really small budget. So we'll see us in part 2.